don't you?
Best I
Oh,
really do.
it's the wedding day. Go on.
I know.
Yeah, that's cool.
So he has to take the centre stage.
I've been told I've got to.
That's fine.
Didn't they seem so short, those speeches?
How many pages? It's not been important
Okay, let me first by saying it's fantastic to be involved in the happiest day of Brett's life. As he was also involved in mine, he was there right by my side the day I saw my Sky Sports channel. The real purpose of me being here is not for all the thank yous and all the toasts, because I'm skipping all of that. What you're all waiting for, hopefully, is for me to destroy Brett's character. And, ladies and gentlemen, the wait is now over. I first met Brett in 1984. We were both in the waiting room of the sexual health clinic. And as we sat there, sort of scratching and chatting, it was such a small world. We both found out we had the same parole officer. Now, in Brett's naivety, he's told me what I am allowed to say and what I can't say during the speech. So out of respect for Brett, I will not be mentioning anything about the Hungarian lap dancer.
Oh, yeah.
And where she bit him during the stag do. He knows. Now, talking to Joe's is much more.
So there's something new to Joe then.
There's lots more, Brett. There's lots more. In talking to Joe's family today, I believe they've prepared her very well for marriage with Brett. She's seen loyalty tested over decades of broken dreams and betrayed trust. Yes, her family are Crystal Palace fans.
Hey,
Crystal Palace 0, Bolton 1. Just
I was supposed to win today.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Now, I know we've. I can't just allow Brett to have all the stick today. So I know that we've got some guests who have travelled from Poland today.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'd just like to welcome you to United Kingdom. If you would like to put your watches forward, it is now 2004. so moving on swiftly, I don't want to say that. My first duties today was to sort out an issue that Brett and Joe had with the seating plan. They couldn't decide who to sit where, so what we decided to do, I stepped in, and we used the present wedding list. It's difficult actually when a few things. What we decided to do is all those that bought the biggest presents are seated over here. We work our way right back to and if you can hear me over there, Brett and Joe would like to thank you very much for the oven glove. Another duty today was to ensure that Brett was on time and he was sober. I obviously achieved that. Just to ensure this was the case, Brett stayed with me last night and he was in bed very early, he slept like a baby. When I say he slept like a baby, he wet the bed and cried for his mother. It was also my responsibility to make sure that Brett looked in order today and his hair was in order. Now this was quite unfair. And as you can see, I've tried to do the best with what I had to do. Another one of my duties was the very delicate task of keeping Brett's ex-girlfriends and female admirers out of the way today. Now, to be honest, this has been a little bit easier. And in fact, mainly due to the fact there weren't that many. And the foot and mouth epidemic did see off most of them. I can't go without saying thank you to a couple of people today who have had a very difficult task, standing around looking good, looking at their outfits, pouting. Of course, the ushers, Sam and Gaz. Anyway, I'm here to pay tribute to Brett and his life today. Now, Brett was born on the 24th of June 1964, which incidentally was the same year as his favourite film came out, Mary Poppins. It was also the same year that the NHS introduced the contraceptive pill, which is probably a coincidence, but it does make you wonder. Apparently when Brett was born, he wasn't always as handsome as you see him here today. In fact, he was so ugly as a baby that the midwife slapped his parents. His dad used to sort of throw him up and then walk away. Moving on to his school days, and these are a bit difficult for me to recount because I'm of course a lot younger than Brett. But he tells me he was somewhat of a chubby child, which he put down to his mother's belief that breast was best. Although he did say he sometimes found it embarrassing being fed through the school bars. But anyway, he tells me he was extremely gifted. He was a very popular student. He excelled in everything he did, be it sports or academics or the arts. Now, this was slightly contradicted by the school report that I managed to get hold of. And I'll read you a couple of lines from that. Term 1, this is Mrs. Faulkner, you'll remember her. I'm starting to get concerned that Brett is falling behind his classmates. Term 2, Brett has now been lapped. This is reading from his drama exam. During a recent written drama exam, Brett thought that Alfred Hitchcock was a jockstrap. Now this brings me nicely on to Brett's career today, most of which has been spent as a professional driver. Now those of you that have ever driven in a car with Brett, you'll find this is a bit of a surprise. 1982. In 1982, Brett had never had a road accident. Then he bought his first car. Now don't get me wrong, Brett is a very, very careful driver, particularly when he's on his motorbike. He always looks both ways before he runs into the back of the car. But Brett is a man with a very good heart, and Brett's not the sort of guy that would ever offend anybody. But if you let him loose in a car, or even worse, a heavy goods vehicle, and you'll just soon discover there's another side to Brett.
Yeah.
The problem is he gets involved in a road rage incident about at least once a month. Now this recently climaxed in Brett actually being arrested for assaulting one of his customers. It is true, it's true, I'm not making this up. Just to add for his new parents-in-law, the charges were dropped, all is well. But I think today you should look as not losing a daughter, but gaining 6 points and a caution for reckless driving. Those of you that know Brett well will also know another one of his very famous traits. Brett is somewhat, how can I put this, he's very careful with his money. He's one of the few men that can peel an orange in his pocket. In fact, it's still a bit of a shock that he's actually bought me dinner tonight. It's the first time.
I'm here for that.
There you go. Now, Brett, of course, will deny this, so if you see Brett anywhere near the bar tonight, which is unlikely, please feel free to buy a round of drinks. I'm sure he'll want to prove you wrong. To Joe, I would hope that you're not planning to spend all of Brett's money by travelling around the world. Brett told me before the ceremony that he's ever only been to Iceland and Texas, and that was for a frozen bag of chips. For all the stick that I've given Brett today, I'm sure we can all agree that he's done rather well in finding a lovely lady like Jo.
Yes.
Yeah. And it does prove if nothing else, that stalking does pay off. They met on a romantic night out in Rugby, at a karaoke bar. This is all true, honest, I couldn't make this up. Brett got up and sang his version of Rod Stewart's Do You Think I'm Sexy? And then Jo got up and sang her version From a Distance. Now, unfortunately, I've never heard Brett sing, but I am told it's very much like asthma set to music. But apparently, Jo thought Brett had the X Factor. So, on a serious note, I am coming to the end now. On a serious note, it's impossible to praise Brett too highly. In fact, when I wrote the speech, it was impossible at all to praise him. Except to say, it's been a real honour to have been chosen to be Brett's best man today. I think it reflects the fact that we've remained friends for over 20 years, and we've had some great times together. Brett is one of life's good guys, and he deserves some luck. And to be honest, I think he's found it today marrying Jo. I also think that she's made a wonderful choice for her first husband. I suppose it's my last duty now to pass on some traditional marriage advice. Brett, never get complacent. Look out for those telltale signs that something may be going wrong in your relationship. Little things like the milkman's wearing your socks. Never go to bed on an argument, always stay up and argue. Always remember those 3 little words. You're right, Jo. And Brett, getting married bestows upon you many, many obligations. But always remember, foreplay is optional. So, that's it. I'm sure you'll all be glad there's no more. Bar a toast. I'd like to thank you all for coming today and helping make Brett and Jo's wedding such a very special occasion, very memorable. So if you'd all like to raise your glasses, I'll be upstanding, please.
You sit.
The toast is to bride and groom.
Bride and groom.